Fireman. Yep. What kind of car is it?
That does.
It's just like mine.
When
right?
I look back on my childhood,
Although
I
that was
remember
pretty
working
cool.
on Beetles and VWs in the garage with my dad. We weren't rich by any means, but somehow, Dad made it all happen. Being in those shoes today, it makes me realize how talented my father is. Not only for being able to make a beautiful car from the ground up, but just for the simple fact that he included me with all those crazy projects he had going on in the garage. The memories I have in those cars he built are priceless. For me as a kid, not being able to sleep, so he would throw me in the back and go for a drive. The old Baja exhaust right in my ear would put me to sleep. To me as a teen, drifting around corners in the old buggy and we accidentally hit a mailbox. I can safely say that I will be trying to include my daughter in as many of these projects as she will let me. I want her to have those same memories with her dad. Because something as simple as those memories mean the absolute world to me.
Dance party done.
But ultimately, my addiction for vehicles comes from my dad. He's the one to blame.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike Deschamps, and behind me is a 1974 Volkswagen Super Beetle. Now, in previous videos, we tore this car apart, and as we tore it apart, we found more and more issues with it. But we are on the repair stage of it now, so we have tacked in the brand new heater channel on the passenger side, a brand new firewall, a brand new section underneath the back seat on the passenger side, but we still have a lot of work to do. Today we're hoping to finish welding the heater channel and firewall in place and hopefully cut out the driver's side heater channel and start prepping it for the new one to go in, because this car has to get back together very soon so that I can enjoy it or somebody else can enjoy it, because if this channel does hit the right threshold, we will give this car away. Today is probably going to be another messy one. We're about to tackle the driver's side heater channel and weld in the passenger side heater channel. Basically, as it sits, the passenger side heater channel is tacked in, the firewall is tacked in. We've got our little patch piece under the back seat on the passenger side, that's tacked in. We have quite a bit of fixing up to do, but it's all in there. So we need to weld it all in, clean up all that sound deadener, which is fun. Everybody knows how fun that is. And yeah, I already had my dance party for the day, so we're set with that. But I have a feeling I may have another one later. Dad's on his way over, and as far as I know, he's on his way over. He said he'd come over Sunday morning, but it's getting pretty almost the afternoon now. So yeah, welding, cutting, get this thing back in hopefully a little bit more of a working order. There he is right there. Put the coffee on. I'll be there in 15. I did a little bit of the sound deadening throughout the week, but I had a pretty busy week, thank you.
Little tiny bit.
So you're going to start with cutting out that.
I don't have much choice.
It's going to pop back out though once you cut it, right?
What?
The shape of it, because we've got it screwed down. So the moment we cut it out, it's going to pop back out. I was just curious to myself how that shape was stayed retained.
I'm going to cut on top of that.
Right, but it's still going to be, it won't be attached to the body then, so it's going to start popping back out.
Yeah. We don't have much choice.
Okay, so we're just going to have to try and fix it before we weld it in?
Yeah.
While Dad was busy making a bunch of noise and cutting out the rotten section in the wheel well, I got to work removing the sound deadener from the back seat area. Most of you guys say to use heat, but man, oh man, it's a messy, not fun job. We needed to remove this so we could repair the driver's side without having this gooey, messy stuff drip on us as we weld. Plus, in order to properly clean up the area before installing more sound deadener, we're gonna need to clean this up pretty nice.
Okay, what have you got going on? You've cut out the whole piece in behind it now.
Yep.
You popped out the screws. Vice grips are still holding it to the heater channel. You're just trying to, with the screwdriver, make it flush so that we can weld it, right?
Yeah, right in here.
That was a full guess. Pretty
Just
good.
right there.
Pretty good guess. You got some shavings on your forehead.
Here we go again, smashing the old man.
No, just pointing it out. So we're good to weld that patch in, you think? Tack it in place, and
Yep.
there's actually quite a bit of welding I can get done today.
Yep.
So,
As soon as you set the camera down.
yep, but you have to hold the camera to capture these moments. That's why 95% of people don't do YouTube, because it takes extra effort they're not willing to put in. But we're different. We're just working away and it started hailing. Some pretty big hail, actually. It's like Dippin' Dots. Remember Dippin' Dots? The good old days. Huh. Well. Literally, there's my well. Alright. So, we gotta hold this and tack it in place at the same time.
In order to make this patch match the existing lines in the wheel well, I needed to use the body dolly and a hammer to work my way around the edges. By slowly hitting the metal and working it around the arch, we were able to manipulate the edge exactly how we needed to get it to weld to. To get the proper curvature with no hammer marks, we used all sorts of body dollies and punches to make sure everything matched up nicely.
I'm like an English wheel.
Yeah,
or the
that's exactly.
plenishing hammer. That's the one. Yeah.
Basically, we have to work our way around this patch, matching up all the edges nice. If there's bends in the metal, we want to match all the bends and get the lines as nice as we can.
Okay, so after a lot of finessing the metal to get it to actually fit correctly and have that curvature of the wheel well and look good, because we don't want it to be an obvious patch by any means, we've had to work it a lot to get it nice, but we finally got it, and Dad's just throwing a million tack welds on it, and thank God he's actually on the bottom. I thought he was on the top, which would mean the car was on fire. I've been on fire patrol, so I'm not doing a good job if I'm over here. No fire. What do you think? Not bad?
Yeah. It's all just well.
Well, you've caught it.
Oh yeah. It's strong. It's just trying to get that is difficult.
Well, it seems like you got a good rhythm going.
We'll find out.
So if you've ever welded body metal, you know it's not too easy. It's very thin and it blows apart super fast. It takes a bit of a touch, and once you get in the rhythm, you just keep going. But a lot of this car, and I've yet to actually show this, sorry, I'm eating Doritos. A lot of this car does have Bondo in it in certain areas. There's it's not a fun part of my day, so we'll talk about that when the time's right. But where the heater channel meets up, there is a little bit of Bondo in certain spots, and it makes it pretty difficult to weld. So Dad's found his rhythm, what we're gonna call our rhythm, and he's getting that whole patch welded in. It's very difficult not to blow through, so just time consuming, little tiny tacks the whole way around, and then take the grinder, clean it all up, and make it look factory. So as you can see, we just drilled out a bunch of holes in the bottom plate of the inner wheel well so that we can plug weld it to this lip on the heater channel. So we drilled them all out and now we're just filling them back in. It's a tricky spot to weld because we've got sound deadener above it. That kind of drips down and causes a fire, but the welder puts the fire out too, so you know, don't panic, just keep going. Just little flames, you know, baby flames. So we started out the day with this piece being bolted onto the original piece behind it. Dad cut out and then welded it in, the patch piece, and we've ground it all down up to about there. We still got a bunch to do over here, and then it's all just like polishing to make it look like it was never changed. But that's pretty darn good. Works for me, for sure. Just clean it up a little bit. And then I made these little patch pieces for the rear that we got to slide in and tack in place and then grind down. But right now it's lunchtime. We're about to go have some sausages. So once we get back from lunch, we can probably grind this down a bit more and then weld these two little sliver patch pieces into the rear, so that all we have to do is grinding on it. Probably weld in this whole heater channel, and then yeah, see where we're at after that.
With lunch done, Dad wanted to continue the patch up front, so he wasted no time getting it all marked before cutting and welding it into place.
Nailed it. Wing it.
Nope.
No, that was a... You want me to go down and go from the backside here?
Like this?
Why? You want to stay high off it?
Yeah, for
just
now.
in case.
So wing it there,
Yeah.
and then we'll figure out the rest.
A blacksmith would be proud right now. We got to go a little bit past.
They shouldn't have. They shouldn't have made them like that.
What do you think?
Try it. Well, you think I'm in the right spot, but...
What are you talking about? It's pretty much right on the line. We just need to trim a little bit off top now. No?
You want to put the vice grips on that?
No, no.
Although this area is under the front fender, it needs to be finished as nice as possible. We don't want this car to look like it's been repaired. We want it to look like it did back in '74. And if you actually know what you're looking at, there's certain spots on these cars that indicate the overall condition. This is one of those spots. As I've explained, welding body metal can be tough, especially on old cars. As the years go on, the metal gets thinner, and when you go to weld thin metal, you end up just blowing it away. So you end up chasing your weld to find a decent chunk of metal.
That's on you. You're trying to figure out a way to blame me. So we're not quite done, obviously, but we are a lot closer than what we were this morning. Dad's finally feeling okay about one of these days. But we just got this patch piece put on. We even put in a little ledge at the bottom and gave it a quick grind. Dad did, and it's looking pretty good. But a little bit more to do, obviously, around the big patch. But gosh darn, that's a lot better than it was.
Just coat it.
Cover it right away. Yeah, we're gonna burn this and grind this, and it's not your paint, right? Use it. Just use the whole can.
Just want to make sure that it's.
Look at the runs you got.
So we just finished up the front passenger side wheel well, and we're quickly moving on to the rear of the heater channel. Dad just jumped inside because he wanted to weld that inside edge. The outside edge is unfortunately quite a bit of Bondo, so we're gonna have to dive into that carefully, but we're trying to get this whole heater channel welded, both sides of the back, and then work our way up around the B pillar, the A pillar, and straight up to the firewall. Get it all welded in solid today so that we can move on to the opposite side next. This whole time that we've been welding this car, it's been popping and creaking and making a whole bunch of noise, pulling itself back into its original shape, I would say. It's been like, you know, ting, boom, bang. Just as we weld everything back together, it's just making all these noises. It's like the Titanic, you know? Just as it's going down, it's creaking. Okay. Well, Dad was on the inside, welding up that back corner. I made up this patch for this corner and drew my line here. So now I got to cut out all this to receive this nice patch, and then I can meet this on the back side here. We can drill it and weld it all nice along the bottom here. So this whole corner will get sealed up nice. Dad fixed that. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Dad fixed that back corner piece that we had put in and built up a bunch of weld in there, so we just got to grind it down and make it look good. And yeah, he's going weld crazy in there. But now, yeah, next step will be I got to cut this out and then lay this in there, give it a couple tacks, make sure it's got the same shape where it's going to meet up the bottom, cut it, drill our holes. Boom. I just marked this out as low as I could.
Okay, so cut below, leave that line.
Yeah, I'm just gonna trim below it.
Yeah.
And then clean that up so this patch can sit in there nice.
Good.
And yep. Yeah, oh yeah. I'm just we'll start on this side right like that.
Fireman. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, just, you know, fire patrol.
So we got that piece all cut up and the bottom drilled out. Dad's just throwing it in there, burning himself. He's just throwing it in there, putting some welds across the top and everything, because we did cut it out a little bit bigger and we got the piece ready, fits in great. So yeah, just throwing that piece in now.
getting big.
What?
Nothing.
You
It's all
okay?
good. Yo, yeah, no, we're good. Safety squint. This piece looks a lot nicer in here. All that patch is sealed up now. We just got to do a bunch of grinding on it. Get it seated nice. And then you'll never see that seal, that seam line. Same with this. That piece will get pulled to this new piece here. It'll get pulled together and spot welded. And then you'll never see that once it's all down and done too. Wipe it real good.
When the area gets hot,
Push it.
if there's any of that gooey stuff left over from the
Push it
sound
real
deadener,
good.
it just melts it, and it
Just
becomes
weld
super
through it,
runny.
yeah.
In this car, it was oozing out of the panel as
believe
Dad
it's
was
actually
trying to
welded.
weld it on. Not ideal, but it actually
burn
worked
it.
out.
Right?
Just blowing through it.
It worked. It sucked it right in.
But did it? No.
Well, no, I guess it just broke.
Hey.
Yep.
This
That's a
area
good
has
idea.
quite a bit of
what about
Bondo.
if we
It's an
recreate
area
the lip
I've really yet to
with a
show
piece of
you
metal?
guys.
Bend it 90.
Not quite sure what's going on
Right.
under the
Yeah.
paint and why
Half-inch
they had to
piece.
recreate some edges,
it down here.
but I'm not really wanting to dig
Weld it
into
in.
that today.
Plug weld it.
Like a bracket, like flat against the heater channel here,
Yep.
and then bend it up to sit there.
Yep.
Okay.
Won't be that big. It'll only have, say, a 1/2 inch lip on it.
So is that going to allow us just more
And
to
then
weld to, hopefully?
And I'm thinking if we drill a hole, drill a hole, drill a hole, drill a hole.
So it's a 90-degree bracket with holes drilled on both sides. That way we can plug weld both sides of it.
Yep. That's about the only thing I could think that's gonna be nice and strong, because they never even had it welded the first time.
A lot of this lip here is
Oh, that.
Bondo, unfortunately. Once you start digging into it, they made this piece out of Bondo. Pretty hard to see, but there's definitely a little bit of Bondo in this edge here, so it's going to be tricky to weld on. We've got to kind of make something work for that area, but this patch here is in. Oh, that light's killing me. Now I can't see nothing. This patch here is in, all welded up solid and plug welded to the other panel. We're just gonna have to do some tidying up, but that looks mint. This is all cleaned up in here. Like, we've got to clean it up still, but it's welded, which is awesome and looks good. That side of the heater channel's welded on. Just give it a whirl, see what happens.
Oh.
Yeah, laying down sucks.
Oh. Jeez.
That thing arced as it came down.
Oh.
And yeah,
I'm gonna have to try something.
yep. Do you want me to don't lay it on that, you just put it right underneath yourself.
Oh. Okay.
What are you doing with that now?
I'll show you. I gotta try something because it's not gonna weld there. Saw this in the movies.
Yeah, careful.
Oh, fungu.
That's Bondo. You can see it. It's killing. So the end is all Bondo.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can kind of see it better here, but this piece is a lot of Bondo. There's Bondo around this corner because you can see a pinhole right there. But then Dad says it fades, like it's more towards the outside of the panel. So the actual heater channel is sitting up on steel, right? Most of it.
This is a patch right here.
Yeah, definitely a patch. You can see it on the inside, but...
Well, you can see it right here.
I'm just saying...
Yeah.
The Bondo's on the outside. It's not up underneath it. So we should be able to weld that heater channel directly to it without our little bracket piece. Right? Without using the bracket.
Well, it's quite a space, but I'll try it.
Yeah, Space Jam. Uh-oh, yep. Is the gas on?
Turn the welder up to 2, maybe.
Welder up to 2. Gas is on. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It's not catching.
Popcorn. That had a bit better sound to it.
Not catching the car at all.
Blanket was on fire.
My shirt was on fire too. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Baby,
That was a good one.
was too.
I didn't turn the camera quick enough, but that was a 4-inch flame right beside. Look at you, burnt my blanket.
Oh, wasn't caring about your blanket. Okay.
Careful. Yep.
Maybe I better put this underneath.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was close to my belly. Ready?
Yep.
Ooh. Is that catching it now?
It bubbled it. You bubbled the paint now. No, don't worry about the paint. Fuck. The rest of the car needs serious paint love anyways.
Oh, we're just gonna have to grind that out. I did get a little bit in there, but might as well, while I'm at it, I might as well catch this if I can.
That's what we should name this car. Catch me if you can.
Maybe.
In referring to the welds. If you put a flashlight up and here actually have a look at what's in there, holy fuck, there's a lot. Even from here I can see a bunch on the other side.
Yep.
There's a lot of foam in there, but I could probably break it all up and pull it. Georgia loves doing it too, so just cut a nice hole. Just don't go too high. You kind of went kind of high there. Listen, just don't go too high. Well, you should stay closer.
Can't look, there's nothing there. Look. Look it.
Everybody says take the foam out. There is no problems with this car or the paint back there. Basically everybody takes the foam out because they complain about the paint bubbling or it's rusting or something in that area, but this car has zero amount of rust in that area. So realistically, is the foam actually bugging us? Do we have to go through all that effort to get it out? Dad says no. I don't think so, because we're not having any issues with it. The vents are perfect, they're not rusting. The actual quarter panel itself is not rusting, so we'll pull a bit out both sides, but I don't think we're gonna go to the full lengths of getting the entire amount of foam out. It's a bit of a sound deadener too, so yeah. Yours is still, is yours in there?
Yep. I dug out some, but
didn't take it
While
all
Dad
out.
kept digging at the foam and making a patch for the only spot the foam has damaged, I got back to welding the heater channel in place around the A-pillar. Again, not the easiest spot to weld. The metal is thin, but it just means I had to build up the weld in that area, and I will have to do some more grinding to make it all look nice.
Alright, so that ultimately was a wicked day, and you know, as always, I'm super thankful for Dad's help. He's always very knowledgeable, and I get to just soak all that up and slowly learn it all myself. I mean, millions of people in the world, and not everybody can do this, so it's nice to have this teaching firsthand, you know. But yeah, I'm really happy I didn't have to use that sketchy angle bracket that he was making up, because I really didn't like that. I mean, there's probably no problem with it, but I really didn't like it. So I'm glad we didn't have to use that, and we were able to find some metal in that back right there, because there is quite a bit of Bondo there, and that's really not a great area that I want to look at right now. So majority of this body will be mint, but I'm not going to dive too hard into ripping the existing paint apart if it's not completely garbage yet. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this wheel well. The wheel well turned out mint. Obviously a little bit of work still to do in there, but it's coated, and this piece turned out awesome. Yeah, just a little bit to clean up there, and the heater channel is welded in solid now, plus this back piece is all fixed up. So yeah, so another day down. We've got I don't know how many that is or how many we have to go, but still lots to do. So don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.